I'm Christian with Vision Interactive here at the Dallas Digital Summit 2016 with Curtis Midkiff. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Sure. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, my name is Curtis Midkiff. I am a social business advisor at Southwest Airlines, so I'm a part of a relatively new team, our social business team, and what we're doing collectively is trying to make sure that social media and social innovations are operationalized across the business.
Awesome. And you just had a talk about crisis management. Can you tell us a little bit about it and how you guys handled it?
Yeah, we were talking about it. It was a short case study. In July, we had a major technology outage, and one of the things we wanted to talk about is how we leverage tools like Facebook Live and other social tools as a part of our bigger communication strategy to make sure that we were reaching our customers at a very trying time for them. Talked about some of the ways that we like to show to be honest, transparent, genuine, quick, progressive, and omni-channel, and just try to take people through it and lessons that we learned along the way.
Awesome. How do you think your team handled it? Like, how did you think of Facebook Live?
I think it was a very interesting use of Facebook Live, and my colleagues championed that. Some of the work that my colleague Brooks Thomas and other people on our team have been doing to use Facebook Live in kind of day-to-day, or to use live video generally. So we were one of the first brands, if not the first airline, to use Meerkat and Periscope. So when Facebook Live started, we continued using it. And so when the crisis came, we had done other things. It's smaller crises like weather issues. And so it was a natural progression. And so luckily, my colleagues had built trust among executives, and we were able to use that as a good channel to use.
So what advice do you have for companies that might find themselves in a similar situation?
I think it's very important to understand that, as we talked about in the talk today, every channel that you are on socially has the potential to be a customer service channel. So those channels that you post on, as part of your regular branding, be ready to respond to your customers there. We learned that with LinkedIn and Instagram. Those are not necessarily day-to-day customer channels, but because we're active there and people were reaching out to us any way they could, we had to be there to give at least operational updates. The other thing is make sure that you leverage all of your channels, paid, owned, earned, shared, in some sort of coherent manner. So whether that is your earned media, your traditional media, your outreach, that kind of thing, your paid media that you use, leverage that very strategically. Your shared media, media platforms that you might share with other entities inside your company. Your internal channels, don't leave your employees out. Make sure that, because they're the ones who can communicate these messages. And then the last thing we learned was basically create content for the masses while interacting with the individuals. So continue to interact with individuals, try to solve problems. That's what we were trying to do in that crisis, because everybody's trip is different. You had a different thing. But if you started seeing recurrent themes that were coming in from the data, then that can inform the content that you produce.
Nice. Good advice. So any brands other than Southwest you've seen that have handled a crisis situation in a good way that we should try to emulate?
I might be partial, but the Red Cross, not just because I used to work there, but they're kind of a bellwether who's been involved many years before I got there with actually using social as a proactive way to inform the public from a preparedness standpoint on a day-to-day, as well as during a disaster, informing the various parties, the affected parties, as to how they can get help, as well as informing folks who want to donate. They're really a great example of that.
Is there anything that we should not do? Is there any?
I think the one thing is being tone deaf to the voice of your customer. It's one thing to talk about the crisis from your perspective, and that was something we learned in this crisis. It was a technology issue that then had an impact on the operation. So the technology issue was rectified rather quickly, but the operational issues were still enduring. So we couldn't, from our standpoint, tout the fact that we solved that real quick when you still had people who were impacted. So you had to always put yourself in the mind of the voice or the footsteps of the customer to really try to show empathy, but also come to them with content that's speaking to them where they are.
Awesome. And any advice for 2017? Any tips that you think are going, or trends that are going to be making their way in the new year?
I see a lot more video. And, not just because we presented on it from a live perspective, but it's very interesting to me that Facebook is putting a very large kind of ad campaign around the everyman and every woman using live video. And so what that's showing me is that, you know, we already knew that with social media, your brand is always on stage, you know, because we have millions of passengers. Any one of those trips can turn out to be a story, a good story or a bad story. So now your brand is live on stage. So it's like you have to be prepared to listen to those things and interact, but you also can be proactive in using those same tools to get your message out live to people. So I think that's a big trend. The other trend that I think is interesting is influencers, and really leveraging influencers in a strategic way. Those people who have built audiences or who are renowned content creators to kind of give you another way to talk to people. I think those are two big trends for 2017.
Yeah, totally. Anything new and exciting for Southwest?
You know, we just want to continue to be customer centric in our approach to social. And so like this last year has been really great for us in the sense of now we are 24/7 in terms of social response. That's a major improvement. We have grown our social care team in conjunction with our customer relations team and their leadership. Under their leadership, that team's been able to grow. We just want to continue that. How that manifests, who knows? It may be new platforms, you never know, but just want to continue to always think about the customer and how we can better provide like entertainment, information, and engagement opportunities for them.
Awesome. Well, you're doing a great job. Thanks
Well, thank
so much.
you. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.